This is how to ground to air dribble in Rocket League. I'm gonna show you all the different setups. We're gonna do chip to air dribble, bounce to air dribble. We're gonna do carry to air dribble. And if you know what none of those means, you're just gonna learn all of them. This is level 4 of the air dribble roadmap. So if you're here, I hope you completed the other levels and you're not skipping ahead. This is super important for rank 2v2 and even rank 3s and 1s. So if you are, I would say diamond or above, this should be super helpful. And if you're wondering why I'm shirtless, no, I'm not just trying to show off my build. I'm like sick, I'm fighting demons right now. We got coconut water, bang. Ricola, bang. Vicks extra strength tissues, bang. Let's get into this. So we're gonna start out with the chip to air dribble here. And so the chip to air dribble is a ball that's sitting still, right? We have to pop it into the air and then continue an air dribble. Couple cues on getting this set up. So for the chip, obviously we just drive through the ball. We wanna be driving through with a little bit of speed if the ball's sitting still to get this pop. And then what I'm doing is I'm holding both jumps to pop this ball into the air, but you'll notice the timing. My second jump should be my contact with the ball. You don't want to use both jumps like here and then get stuck behind the ball. And you also don't want to get under the ball and use both jumps here. Then your recoil is going to be a little higher. When we hold both jumps, we get a nice pop of the ball and the second jump kind of resists knockback while we give it lift. This was a good example here. You don't need to air roll, although I'll be air rolling in a lot of my examples just because I do this intuitively. And I'll show you a little bit of air roll tech in a second. For a shot that's a little bit more off angle, we're just going to want to get around the right side of the ball. You can do this without air roll, just by kind of like tapping here like this, or you can, continue a spin using our air roll system that we went over in level 2. Either way, the second jump is the contact, and as much as we can, we want to make this first touch off to the left. Like, can you correct a bad setup and then pop this ball over to the left? Yes, but if you just get this first touch, like going more central, you're gonna have a lot more success. So your setup should look something like this. This shot is pretty much the same as the one before. You can practice this with air roll if you want. This left side one, same thing. We're trying to get around the left side of the ball. We're gonna pop it up, and then we're trying to make our air dribble touches. So make sure you max both jump timers, and then float behind the ball. Extra credit if you can get more under the ball. More under the ball here, because that's what's gonna allow you to like potentially reset, right? Go for reset bumps, reset air dribbles. You'll have more options when you're under the ball, but if you just get behind the ball, it's still scoreable. Shot number 4, we're now going to be farther back on our half. So on these shots, we really have to get under the ball here and get a lot of pop. We got to get a lot of height. If we get too far behind the ball on our second touch, these setups worked on the previous level. This no longer works. So we want to make sure we're equal parts under the ball as well as behind the ball. This is what it could look like with no air roll. Making sure we max jump timers to resist knockback, pull back on the stick to get under it, and then we're getting a nice carry here. Now, if I'm using air roll, I will use the tornado spin. The tornado spin has a lot of utility. Tornado spin is air roll left, which is my square, and stick right, or air roll right, which is my circle, and stick left. You'll see for a tornado spin, while we're, yawing right and rolling left, our nose lifts for the first half of the spin, and then it comes down. Well, this has a useful property. When you're flying, it lifts your nose up like this. Like if I'm slightly tilted forward and then I tornado, it lifts my nose up. You see this? And then I can let go once I'm vertical. And then I'm in a nice position. Now, obviously, if I keep holding it down, I'll come back to where I was previously. But this tornado spin has nice properties when I'm lifting my nose there. So if you see me spinning, what I'm doing is I'm tornadoing to get my nose up, and then I'm letting go of my joystick and just continuing to hold air roll left. That's what gets me in this position to continue these air dribbles. So tornado has a nice like lift effect and nice slow down effect when you start it from what I call the neutral position, which is like slightly tilted forward. So you get these nice setups, and then we can even, reset. But yeah, we want to make sure we get under the ball here. And our setups look something like that. I don't know how I got that reset. But yeah, just make sure you're getting under these balls. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get it downfield. So your setups could look anything like those. Next shot 5 is on the right wall. It's the same thing. We're just trying to get under the ball, getting as much height as we possibly can. Couple reasons you may or may not be getting the height I get. One is holding both jumps. So you want to hold your first jump and then hold your second jump. So you're maxing both of them to get the most height. What I also do here is I don't start tilting until after my second contact. If you start tilting before, well, one, you might just backflip. But you also run into this problem if you start tilting before. Let me show you. where you kind of get out in front of the ball like this. See that? Whereas if I just jump, I kind of get a higher pop on the ball, and then I lift my nose. So I jump to get the pop, and then I lift my nose. Jump, lift my nose. Jump, then I lift my nose. Then I get those nice high pops. Here I might go for a reset. But yeah, that's how you get these kind of cross map ones. And you'll see I use a lot of tornado spin on these. Tornado spin from this position. Tornado spin from this position. Air roll left, stick right, slows me down. From here, air roll left, stick right, slows me down. Reverse tornado spin, air roll left, stick left, speeds me up. See this? Ducks my nose down. And so that's more useful like on resets or when I'm trying to speed up. Like here, I'll use a reverse tornado spin. That'll get me in a position to reset from that normal flying. So here, tornado, stick right. Here, reverse tornado, air roll left, stick left to get in a reset position. We're going to skip these shots. I already showed you guys how to do these shots in level 3. But that was chip setups when the ball's still. So we have to add a lot of oomph. These are good to practice for starters, okay? Now, when the ball is going to roll at us, we don't need to apply as much power. We can do a very soft drive, and you see we get a big chip. As much as we can, these shots stay the same, but we don't need to, boost into it, because then we do this. I see a lot of lower-ranked players do this in their game. They'll boost into the shot, and they'll hit it too far forward, and then now you're in a position where you can't really create. So remember, we're not trying to get behind the ball here. This looks good, but is easy to save. We want to get under the ball here. This is much harder to defend. And the way that we do that is, one, we make sure we get a soft pop. So like just a soft drive into it when the ball's already rolling at us. Remember, a ball rolling at us is going to get a lot of chip naturally. See, I literally didn't drive into it and it chipped. See that? So we don't have to boost into this. We get this nice, setup. And then what I'm going to do is between my first touch here, I now want to cover ground. You don't want to take off immediately. So you see what happens when I take off immediately? Now I'm stuck behind the ball. So we actually use a little bit of boost to get under the ball, and then we fast aerial once we're already under it. Do you guys see what I'm saying there? So we drive under it, and then we fast aerial. This gets us in a better position. Now, as much as we can, we want this first touch to be on net. And now if we get it in like some position like this, it's pretty happy days. You'll see here that I will often start with ball cam off, and then I'll turn ball cam on after my first touch. So ball cam off, ball cam on after my first touch. This is what most folks do, and they find it the easiest because on this setup, we need to drive under the ball. And if you have ball cam on the whole time, some people find this confusing, right? Disorienting. So we start ball cam off, we drive under, we get this touch, ball cam on. Now we're in a nice position to air dribble downfield. So we're combining all the skills here. We're driving under the ball, then we take off, fast aerial. Trying to make our second contact the dodge if possible. Staying under the ball, then we air dribble. Same thing on this one. Hit it forward, drive under the ball. Make sure we use 2 jumps. If I let the ball fall longer here, it's still recoverable. You can't get it quite as high. You have to use more boost. So here, if I let it fall, my second jump really has to be powerful. Like my second jump has to be my contact. Versus like here, if the ball's already rising, I can get this touch without my second jump having to be the contact, and we're fine. That concludes the chip to air dribble section. Next up, we have the bouncers. So this shot is actually mid-air when we're flying into it. When a ball is, climbing, rising through the air, it's going through a 3-phase arc. Phase 1 is the ball's rising. So when the ball is rising, if we connect with it out here, it's quite easy to continue an air dribble. Because it's already rising, the first touch goes pretty high. It's nice and easy. Phase 2 is when the ball reaches its peak height. That's when I let it fly a little bit longer. We can still get an air dribble set up, but now our touch is going to be, it has to be a little bit harder because if the ball's already falling, we have to give it more oomph to keep the touch going. And finally, there's phase 3. If we let it fall all the way down to here, we really have to use a lot of speed to get it going back up. So remember, where you connect with the air dribble is super important. On a setup like this, it looks like we can reach out and connect with it early. We get a pretty nice setup, and we don't have to use too much boost. If we wait till it's in phase 2, that means plateauing. We have to use a little bit more boost. It's going to kind of dud more. We might have to use some recovery mechanics. If we wait until it's already falling down in phase 3, we really got to add a lot of pop or else it's going to kill. So here I'm aiming to connect with the ball around phase 1, phase 2. I'm going to air roll through my touch to reduce knockback, and then we're in a nice position to create. Here I'm getting resets. It really is important to air roll through the touch and get used to this because when your car is spinning, it's resistant to knockback. You see I got a little bit of knockback there? Well, it's spinning, it's more resistant to knockback. Whereas if I just hit this ball like this, see how my car fell back? I didn't do anything there. But the ball, it hit my car back. Let me get under it to show you a better example. See how my car like fell back there? Well, when we're spinning, it falls back much less. And so on this shot, the ball isn't coming very fast at us. So we can just spin through very simply and get these touches. But on a ball that is moving faster at us, you'll see the utility of holding spin. So to the air roll haters, oh, you don't need air roll. This is why it's useful. Now on this ball, it's coming in at a little bit more of an angle. I'm once again going to try to get my my first touch. I'm going to drive under the ball. I'm going to try to get my first touch under it. But here I'm tornado spinning as I strike through the ball. So I get under the ball and then I tornado spin. Tornado spin has some very nice properties because your car spins like this around a fixed point. You'll see it starts here, arrow left, stick right, sticks here. You'll see when I get to this position, my hood is very nicely slanted at the ball. So we can get these nice, like soft controlled touches that go high into the air. So if we tornado spin and we try to hit the ball right there, you see how we just basically glue to the ball? And this is where like the Zen touch comes from, where you can get like perfect glue touches. But even if your touch isn't perfect, holding tornado spin through this type of shot to hit it with your hood is very useful. You can tornado spin and then immediately go get a reset. Tornado spin, that was a little too heavy. But you see the idea how if you hit it with your hood the right way, your car just rolls off the ball. And so that's the touch we're going for. We're going for a hood touch like that you can very easily follow. You could also hit this with your nose because this is going a little slower. This shot, you could use your nose, but for a shot that's coming really fast at us, that's where the tornado spin like hood touch has a lot of utility. So yeah, we're taking off right about here. Make sure you boost and air roll through. I didn't boost through there, so that made it harder. But if you boost and air roll through, you can get a touch that looks something like that, and now it's pretty happy days. Bang. Now on a bouncer like this, so previous bouncers were coming down, so we kind of wanted to boost through the shot pretty heavily. On this bouncer, we're actually going to be striking as the ball's coming up. See this? So what I'm focused on a shot like this is timing my second jump to once again be the contact with the ball. But now it's as the ball's rising up. See this? That's how we get this like high lofted touch. And we're in a pretty nice position to score from. What I wouldn't recommend you do is try to like chip this ball. You see that timing there? You can chip the ball like that. It's much more difficult. You have to have very precise timing to get that touch. A lot of times you'll just do what I just did there, which is like drive past it. Just like that. Easier, it's more forgiving to just use your second jump to be your contact. And that I find is actually much better as well because it puts you in a position to continue the air dribble. Whereas if you chip this like this, now we have to jump out and catch up to it, which is fine. Like this is scoreable in game, but it's much less consistent for a new player to try to do what I'm doing right now. Like I can get it with decent consistency. I wouldn't recommend most of you do that. Keep it simple. 2 jumps here. You get this nice high lofted touch. Now we're in a good position to create. Anything like that would work. Next shot here, this is a straight up bouncer. Because this one is bouncing so fast and it's rising when we connect with it, I don't really want to get under the ball. You don't want to hit this ball like this because then it goes so high to the ceiling. This is scoreable, but it's harder. You can be pretty far behind these balls and still get a good setup touch because it's already rising. It's in phase 1, rising. As you get the touch, it's already going to naturally kind of pop. On a shot like this, I much more often will get an accidental heavy touch that's out in front of me. And when I do get a heavy touch that's in front of me, that's when we will incorporate a reverse tornado spin. Tornado spin is air roll left, stick right. You see this? This is tornado spin. My hood lifts at the start. Reverse tornado spin is air roll left, stick left. Air roll right, stick right. When you do one of these movements, your nose will drop at the start. You see how my nose drops? So if I boost it, I would go down. Well, that has utility because if I do it from this position, watch, from this position, you see how I'm in a position to get a reset? So here, I'm starting in this position. If I use reverse tornado spin, not only can I get a reset, but my nose ducks forward. So I might use that to get under the ball and then get a reset. So I'll show you. If I make my first touch too far heavy forward, I'll reverse tornado spin to get under the ball and then go get a reset. Is this making sense? So my first touch is too far forward. Here, I probably don't need it. I could just drop straight into the reset. But on a shot like this, where I hit it too far forward, I might reverse tornado spin to get under the ball and then reverse tornado again to get a reset. So that's kind of the utility of the reverse tornado. It gets us back under the ball nicely, and it can be used for resets too. So you'll see when I see my hood, I reverse tornado. Ready? I get this touch here, here, and that's what is allowing me to sort of get back under a ball that I hit too far in front of me. So that's the utility of a reverse tornado. We'll skip the wall setup since I went over these in level 3. Yeah, I think we were done. The only other one we have to go over is, I think, the carry to air dribble. So let me go over the carry to air dribble. I'll just do this in free play. This is the most precise because you're going to have the least time for error. You have to go kind of straight into any touch that you want to make because the ball's just not going to get as much pop when it's starting on top of your car. This is where having good control of tornado spin and good dribbling is going to be very helpful. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to get this ball high enough in the first place to get these nice touches I'm getting. But let me break down as much as I can about what you want to do on a ground to air dribble like this, carry to air dribble. So a carry to air dribble is not a flick. On a flick, you want the ball indicator to be a little bit in front of your car. And by the ball indicator, I mean that little circle. See how this is a little in front of my car and then I flick it? It's not the same on a ground to air dribble. If you do this on a ground to air dribble and then you start, well, 1, you might just backflip. But 2, if I put the ball in front of me and then I try to start a ground to air dribble, I get stuck behind. It doesn't work. Even if you get like a little more in the center, you're still going to get stuck behind. The ball's going to roll off the front of your car. Instead, a cue that I got from my pro coach Shock here is you want to think back wheels inside the ball indicator. So you see how my back wheels are inside the ball indicator? Now jump. You see how I get height there? I'll show you again. Back wheel inside the ball indicator. Now jump. You see how much more pop I get on my ground to air dribble? And even if you had no air roll control, this would be pretty good at a platinum, diamond, even champ level. So you think back wheels inside the ball indicator. It's a little less intuitive, but you want the ball to be further back on your car. So that's one thing. Another thing is we don't want to tilt in between the jumps. So you think you'd want to tilt, but what tilting does, it actually rolls the ball off your car. So instead, on a ground to air dribble, I will hold my first jump. I'll max my first jump timer. Ready? Here. And then I'll use it again once the first jump timer's done. So here, here. That gives me like that big pop. And if you do this right, back wheels inside the ball indicator, you know, this pop would work okay. This ball was a little bit too far in front, but it's still scoreable. If you really get a pop, it should look like that. And that's how you get these nice controlled air dribble setups from carries. So back wheel inside the ball indicator, max both jumps, then start to lean. If you want to incorporate air roll, we would use tornado spins and reverse tornado spins. It's just important to know if the ball's in front of you, you're going to be using more reverse. Like this, drop into a reset. If the ball's more behind you, I might use a tornado spin to lift my nose up. So that's most of the fundamentals on these setups. If you do this right, it could look something like that. That was bouncers to air dribble, carry to air dribble, and chip to air dribble. You can practice all these in free play as well. If you don't want to use the pack, you could use the down command to do the chip to air dribble. Down, chip. Just make sure we're under the ball. It's quite difficult. Down command spawns the ball in front of your car. You can do down command and then right to pop the ball. Now we have a bounce to air dribble. And you can also do the carry to air dribble. I just use the up command. I'm starting from there. Nice. And those are 3 useful shortcuts you can use in free play to practice bounce to air dribbles, carry to air dribbles, ground to air dribbles. Next up, I will be showing you how to ground to air dribble in more advanced setups when the ball's rolling at you or away from you. That will be in the realistic air dribbles training pack, but I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in the next level of the air dribble roadmap. Join the free Discord to access this, and I'll see you in the advanced ground setups section. Peace.